Wow, wow. I want vagina abs to stick. That sounds so awful.
Daddy, what's that?
Cyborg, I want to point out that you can't say the word wolf. You said night wolf before, and it's pissed me off ever since.
No beta code? I'm surprised.
Not bowing down to the con. That's a paddling.
Hey, Cyrax boy, guess what?
Who the fuck doesn't like Yoshi?
I don't like Yoshi.
What the fuck?
Yoshi.
How do we feel about Tremor? Because I gotta say this. I want to see him come the hell.
Yes, but it's because I'm actually peeing in the bucket at the bottom of my seat. So, like, I'm not...
Naitara's design.
You know,
the
you're
main
saying
thing has to
Naitara again.
Oh shit, thank
Just
you.
let go.
I'm on so many drugs at the moment.
Great. Glad to hear it.
Alright, well, I'm done being serious. We can talk about the taste of cock again. If that's what you guys want to.
Wait, what?
This is my fucking ass hanging out. What, bitch?
Are we
Guys,
even
not
recording right
understand-
now?
We're not recording, of course not.
wondering.
Nobody's gonna listen to this.
I hear like the sound of like bullets being loaded into a chamber and like shots being fired.
Is it like an air gun? I don't.
I'm hearing like Russian roulette like right up next to the mic. What's going on? Yep. Definitely taking shots with a rifle.
Welcome back to the Netherkast, bitches! This is DJ Shadaloo, and I'm fucking extreme! Today we're gonna talk about Black fucking Manta! That's his middle name! Fucking!
I mean,
That's
it
what
might
he's
as well
doing
be.
up on these here leaderboards. Black fucking Manta up in your shit! How do you like him, gentlemen?
I'll go first. I think he's very strong. I think he's gonna have some bad matchups, but this character seems really good. Like he has a lot of good mid-range shit, and he can cancel into a lot of safe options with meter. I haven't really tested any of the flight stuff yet. I can't test his damage because I don't own the character on PlayStation 4, so I have to play the multiverse event to learn either frame data or try these setups. But so I'm not really sure how accurate his damage is, but I don't think he needs it. He has hella good chain combos. And people say, "Oh, just block high, you're good." Well, I mean, he has a low, but it's not very effective. Not maybe in my opinion, it's not. But because of that, if you're blocking high, that means he's going to be able to use his back one, his standing one. He's going to be able to start all his shit. And he can actually go into pressure. And if that flight works the way I think it does, I think he's going to be really strong. And I think he's cool. I like the character a lot. Starfire is still my favorite DLC, but they did a really good job on Manta, and he's a really nice change of pace from the zoning in the game.
Good shit. Razor, what do you say?
Well, here's the thing. I really like Black Manta as a character, and I'm super happy that he's in the game, and he looks really cool, but I haven't played this game in a month, guys.
That makes two of us! Damn, we're smooth! BC, have you played, or is it just Temp? It's just Temp, is it?
Is Cyborg even in
asleep.
here?
He may have fallen asleep.
Okay, awesome. So two of us who have not played the character, and a guy who's asleep, are going to talk about this character. This is why you come to us, ladies and gentlemen. We have content.
Oh, yes.
We don't say it's justifiably good content, but we aim to amuse our fans at the very least, so...
Oh, it's comparatively good. I mean, I'm not going to blow anyone up, but I think we comparatively win. The only channel that's really, really impressing me right now is Jinky Dink. That guy's doing a really good job. Pig of the Hut was doing cool stuff too. Rio was doing some cool stuff, but I really like Jinky Dink stuff.
Shujinky Dink.
Yeah. I mean, those are all channels of people who play the game and then show the footage. We're not really comparable.
I feel like we're the only one doing the podcasting though with Combat Tune Podcast
we are the only ones who like sit and talk forever without any like gameplay footage over top of it. And possibly to our detriment, but I don't know. I like our format. I like that we have the corner on this market.
And not to say the other channels are bad, but I think in terms of like the analytics, I think it's us, Brusque, Jinky Dink, and a couple of other channels I don't want to prop. It's just not because they're bad channels. Just I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not familiar enough with their stuff to say one way or another.
I mean, other than us and Brusque, there are one or two other guys who, like, talk about lore and characters and stuff like that, and aren't just, like, gameplay channels. But...
There's one that's really good, I just don't want to reference them because I haven't seen enough of their shit. I just don't want to name drop them until I watch more of the channel. But there's one I've been very happy with.
I mean, that's fair. And to be fair about the Injustice thing, like, I'm not... The fact that I'm not playing it anymore isn't, like, a commentary on the quality of the game. It's just that I think I'm done. And it's not like, it's not that the DLC isn't exciting me or whatever, I'm just... games have a cycle before you get bored of them, and anything with grinding in it tends to have a much shorter cycle, so I'm just... The gear hurts.
Heresy, I say.
I'm gonna be honest. This is kind of the way that I've felt about NRS games going back to like MK9. I could tell you a lot of fun gameplay stories about like good times I've had with Cabal or like Cyrax or God help me, Smoker, Noob Cybot, hell Striker even. But like I couldn't tell you any good matches I've had with Rain because I barely used the guy. Because by the time Rain came out, by the time Scarlet came out, I was barely playing the game anymore. I moved on.
We were playing MK9 a lot before X came out. We played MKX all the way up until Injustice came out.
Which is like the worst NetherRealm game to date, by the way.
I mean, that's
of all the ones we could have played till the end. But speaking of heresy, though, I have been playing the game a lot, and I'm actually excited to get you guys back in the King of the Hill because we've all been developing our characters so much. Like, I've done a lot of new shit with Beetle. Fucking Redman's Grodd is dumb as hell, but it's very interesting. I think that character's really good, by the way. Even Smokeman. Like, Smokeman's Cheetah is nothing to fuck with. I haven't seen his Manta yet. But, yeah, Smokeman's Cheetah, you can't sleep on that character.
I'm sure based on the amount of hype that Smokeman's been given this character, like, he's... Somewhere there's like an 80s training montage, and he hasn't eaten in 5 days. I don't think he comments as much as he used to because he's busy training.
That's what you would think. But the night before Manta came out, I was like, "Hey, so you excited for Manta?" And he goes, "Not quite as excited as I thought I'd be." And I'm thinking in my mind, "Are you fucking serious? Really?"
It's really
easy this journey, yeah.
It's hype is a double-edged sword, You find yourself wanting this thing so much, and you think about it, you put all your energy into it. It's like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna watch this, or I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna get all up into my business about this. I'm gonna make this mine when it comes out. And you've been thinking about it for so fucking long that when it comes out, it's like, is it about the having, or the getting, or the wanting? You're just a little bit burned out.
I think the thing for me is that, like, when you put a system into the game that's like you have to play a lot because the things unlock at random, obviously you create a system like that thinking this will greatly expand the replay value of the game. But for me, it has the opposite effect, because when I play a game, for me, the replay value is like, okay, I know I need to do this to unlock all of the things. So these are concrete goals I can achieve. But if they unlock at random, that means I could play every day for 5 years and still not have certain things. And that just is not... That takes it away from me.
Well, it's worse than that, because it's not random. Like, people can say it's random, but the amount of gear I get for Cyborg, Cheetah, and Bane is just absurd. It's just insane how much gear I get for those characters. It's very obvious that they're distributing gear based on the characters I don't use. It's clear as day. I don't know why they do that, but they're not fucking fooling anybody. It's not random. So those boxes are... I feel sorry for anyone who bought a gold box, or a platinum box, or any box.
I bought so many platinum boxes.
I've bought quite a few gold boxes.
but not with real money is what I mean.
No
microtransactions.
No.
Yes, exactly.
What is this?
Those who use dollars to get this shit, I feel bad for.
I don't use dollars on in-game optional purchases. I don't do that shit.
I did for the shaders.
There are reasons I only unlocked Ibuki the other night not the least of which is I barely play the game anymore, but I still dip my hand in. But I'm not giving them free money. No.
I agree with that. I agree with what you just said there.
But have you guys seen the gold shaders, though? I paid money for that, because I think some of the gold shaders look really good. I mean, Gold Green Lantern looks unbelievably good. And it goes to a good cause, in my opinion. So I threw down. Is it overpriced? Yeah. But for how much I use that character, I got my money's worth.
I think I did actually pick up 1 or 2 gold shaders. I can't remember.
It is, as much as I hate the pricing of any of that, I really think they did a great job on those shares. A lot of them look really good. To have Silver Beetle finally is so tight. I've really gotten my value out of that. I'm still playing the game about 2 to 3 hours a week, even with school. I'm still doing a lot of after-hour playing. So when you guys jump back into King of the Hill, you're going to see a lot of new shit and a lot of new characters. It's going to be a lot of fun, but it may be a while. Actually, maybe a long while, because Marvel Infinite's coming out pretty soon. Hopefully, near the end of the episode, we'll talk a little bit about that. But
nah,
I don't have too much to say about that
not
one.
even a little bit.
I will say that part of the reason that I haven't gotten back into Injustice 2 is I did move my PS4 upstairs because Jen has not finished Persona 5 yet. And it said, okay, that's because it's down.
A long game.
It's down it's down here in my man cave, and like. She likes to play the games and cuddle with the cats, and I can't let the cats down there because I'm allergic, so kind of makes it hard for her, and then the cats don't shut up if she's away from them. So I brought the PS4 back up there because I'm just that great of a guy, folks.
Nice, yeah.
And so I don't get much chance to play much these days because it's kind of commandeered as both a Persona 5 device and as a Netflix device. But I will try to get some Black Manta time in this weekend.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy him. He's very intuitive until you get to the trait. The trait's the only thing where I don't really know what I'm doing yet. But he's a lot of fun, and I haven't heard any of his wager quotes because I don't play with sound, so maybe they're good. I don't know. I don't really do the whole wager quote thing anymore. I'm not really in tuned in that these days, but I think he looks really good too. I think his animations are great. I think his forward 3 is a little lackluster, and his wager break is kind of lackluster, but that's about it. They really did a good job on this character. Which
I did. I did watch one of those videos that goes into detail about all their introductory pre-round quotes and whatnot. And
yeah, I watched all the intros on YouTube too.
It is really, really painful, probably to the same degree that the first couple of guys were, to just hear how cut and paste they take some dialogue from other characters and just slap it on to suit him, and just opening statement, response that kind of tangentially could be a reply to the opening statement, generic reply, fight starts. He's got a couple with like Aquaman and Batman, I think, but it's rough listening to it when you've heard those specific quotes before in better conversations.
Even in the trailer, I think Aquaman is using stock quotes to respond to Manta, and it's really frustrating.
Ugh. If any two people should have their own dialogue together. I really like to be. I'm curious, like, just how far in advance these characters do get decided on, because like if they're late in the game, then that can explain a lot of this.
I mean,
which, you know,
with MKX,
gives me faith that they're not
they brought guys back into the studio and recorded more stuff. Like, you know, like Triborg would come out, and it wouldn't just be a bunch of lines for people who have intros with Triborg. There'd be more like Johnny Cage versus Molina and stuff like that. They just throw new things
happen this time. Still, remember, counter blessings. It's a very far cry away from the days of MK Deception, where again, need I remind everyone that we just gave a microphone to anyone and we paid them in sandwiches.
Oh man, everybody is Taven. Everybody. Well, either Taven or Sub-Zero.
Well, it's as good a time as any. Welcome back to the Netherkast. I am Cyborg.
Man, that shit's all played out, yo. You missed my funky fresh intro. I dropped these hot beats.
No, I got that. DJ Shad dropping the loos.
You need to when you edit this, put in an air horn. Exactly.
Oh Christ.
Playing the long game. I like it.
So the dude's ending.
It's Dingo and the baby.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my god. We have to have at least one Netherkast where we introduce ourselves as us. And just run with it. Just fucking run with it.
Not doing the proper Nethercast intro. That's paddling.
Oh, the paddle. It's been so long.
Speaking of things that have been so long, Mortal Kombat's coming, guys.
That, yeah.
Do we want to get into that? Did you have an opinion on Manta first, or?
Me? No.
Does not care. Okay.
Not even a little bit.
So that's 1 out of 4.
To be fair, that's any character right now. I just got so
I am sorry, NetherRealm, but we're a Mortal Kombat podcast.
We're trying here, and my god, it's a good game, but
you know what we would do a really good episode on to really say nice things about Injustice 2? Fucking classic skins, bro. It's the one thing I have said every time.
Zaro looks good, no?
Yeah, he does! Imagine if Superman was wearing that.
Fair enough.
I want what I want.
How about Black Manta's ending?
I haven't seen it yet, honestly. I haven't checked it.
Manta's ending. It's acceptable.
It's what you'd expect. He's like, well, I tore people apart. I destroyed Aquaman's kingdom. And now he's hiding behind, Superman and Wonder Woman. Big deal. I'll take them down. I'll gut them like fish. And then I'll finally avenge my father once I kill Aquaman. It's actually interesting that he doesn't actually do it in the ending. Maybe they actually want to bring the guy back. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see him in the third one. So anyway, Mortal Kombat.
Sorry, NetherRealm, I tried. I'm trying to give maximum coverage here, but...
Pennywise, meet Shadaloo. Shadaloo, meet Pennywise.
And I could talk about it.
We can't spoil it. Temp hasn't seen it yet.
What a fucking phenomenal movie.
We can't spoil it.
I thought you were going to say something else.
I haven't seen it yet either.
What a phenomenal piece of shit. I tell you what. No, yeah.
It's not a real clown.
Fun.
Yeah, it might be a nice project if they're still open after the show. I don't know. I may see it sometimes. I want to see it. I've just moved into a new apartment, which is why I may or may not sound a little different. I can't tell.
I don't want to see it again. It's good. Nipples. You do what you're doing, though. I'm going to mute myself.
All right. So the news is, I think all of us are not surprised, or it's not out of line to assume that Mortal Kombat 11 is in production. Because that's how the cycle for these things go. They start the game after the last one comes out, and then 2 years later, it's in our hands. Actually, there's probably members of the team who started even before Injustice 2 came out.
We all saw the Raiden storyboards. We know what's happening.
Yeah. So mortal-combat.org, which is a Spanish website.
Okay.
They had a leak/rumor, take with a grain of salt. Somebody who has been in NetherRealm's office. I don't know if it was someone who works there or who. I don't know who their source is.
Yeah, let's just light fireworks off on fucking September 14th, Thursday. Fucking assholes.
Is today a fireworks day?
I know it's not. It's really not. That's what I'm fucking in.
I didn't hear anything. I think you're fine. Right, so anyway, I don't know who their source is, but apparently it's someone who has been a source for them in the past and was right, so... Again, grain of salt, whatever. The point is, the story is that according to this person, they have concept art that they have seen for MK11, which included, no surprise, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Raiden.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. I don't believe you.
But also included Blaze, Onaga, Taven, and Dagon. And
I mean, yeah, go on.
according to this person, the story for MK11 will, much like how MK9 combined 1, 2, and 3, it will combine elements of Deception and Armageddon, retell those stories. But the end boss will be someone from Earthrealm, probably Dark Raiden.
All right.
I don't believe you.
I believe elements of that are possible. I believe that 2 out of those 4 characters could show up in a future game. There is no fucking way in hell we're getting another game with Blaze and Onaga and Taven and Dagon. Concept art, sure, fill it to the brim. Maybe Ed's, kind of going, okay, maybe I kind of can't do a story mode with just playable characters like I said I wanted to, because fuck all those guys asking for Serena, right? But I don't believe that those characters put together
Well, now,
have a reasonable chance of all being in the roster.
I do want to clarify, nothing in the article says that these characters will be playable for sure. Just
All
that
right.
concept art of them exists.
That's fair. That's fair. But that's all. I'm just going on record as going, I don't believe all of those people will be playable before the rumors start really, really flying. I will eat my shit if we get to play as Blaze again.
I mean, I don't want Blaze back, but it might be worth it just for that.
I
should have said flip, not eat, but the sentiment is the same.
What's done is done.
So for me, if this is true, this is good news because I really, really want them to answer a lot of questions that the fact that this is a reboot universe raises. For example, I have talked time and time again about how just because Raiden killed Shao Kahn, there's no way that actually prevents Armageddon. It just prevents him from winning Armageddon. The circumstances that led Blaze to summon the pyramid and do the thing are still all valid. And I have wanted Onaga back, and I've, made no secret of that. I actually like the Dragon King as a character. Him, the scene, the opening cutscene of Deception, where they're all, Dragon Ball Z-ing at him and he's just walking straight through it, is probably my favorite cutscene in the entire franchise.
Good stuff.
So yeah, I really like Onaga, and I would love to see him again. I think of the 4 names, Dagon is actually very likely because, first of all, he's the only member of the Red Dragon clan who doesn't suck. And second, he's now important to Takeda, so kinda gotta do it. Sooner or later.
I hope so. That would be tight. I love that. I'm one of the few people who actually likes Mortal Kombat Armageddon. I think the execution was very thin and poorly fleshed out, but there was something really interesting there.
I've never really hated Armageddon. I really am disappointed with elements of it, especially the arcade endings and the fact that there's no closure, even though they promised the entire point of this game was closure.
Yeah.
But
I guess I'm the only person who straight despises that game, but continue.
But I like Conquest mode. I think I like Conquest mode better than Deceptions because it's more coherent. And because Taven,
I agree with that. It's more fun for sure.
I find Taven to be more charismatic. The plot is there's no holes in it really of what they actually give us, except for Scorpion's motivation. That's the one thing.
I think that I could have appreciated Armageddon's Conquest mode a lot more if there were, I don't know, kind of bios for the main cast to kind of tie things into and
see, like
make it a
when
bit
the
more
game
of a
first came
package.
When the game first came out, that was definitely the biggest problem. Like, it didn't make any sense because the only information of the story you had was anybody who interacted with Taven. Oh, now we know what their deal is. But that's like 15 people on a roster of 64. But then they put out so many bios online, and granted, they didn't hit every character. There are still huge gaps. There's nothing like Armageddon is set in Edenia, and there's no story for Sindel or Katana. That's a problem.
Yeah. You can still work out what most people are doing, kind of.
Like, you still can't work out anything for, like, Hotaru and Darius and Dairu, because one of those guys, his deception storyline was he sat at home and gave other people orders. So it's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And one of those guys should be dead. Like, the last time we saw Hotaru, he was chasing Sub-Zero and Kenshi, and that fight was destined to end badly for him. And then all of a sudden he's in Armageddon and nothing's happened to him. Did he just give up and go home?
Curfew.
They lost him in the living forest.
Oh yeah, it was curfew. That makes perfect sense, actually. I have to call off the chase at 6 o'clock. I can't break my own laws.
You don't want to go to jail for 10 years? Yeah, you gotta fucking roll that way.
Wait, I know what happened. They ran a red light and Hotaru couldn't jaywalk, couldn't do it.
Or someone else ran a red light and he had to get on that shit immediately.
It's probably very easy for Hotaru to get distracted, just saying.
I miss Hotaru. I miss all those cats. I mean, that's probably the one reason I'm looking forward to and not looking forward to MK11 is because the MKX journey was so painful. It was such a sour experience for me because it was just one hope crushed one by one until to this finale of a roster disappointment. For me, I know a lot of people like the roster. Cool. I didn't like all the cock teasing with the cameos. I'm not against cameos in a game. Just be transparent about it. It's one of the few things Capcom's kind of done right with MVCI in terms of marketing, but yeah, I really like Taven. I know a lot of people don't, but I think anyone would agree Taven's salvageable. I like the Armageddon Conquest as well. A lot of people think Rico is the shining diamond of Armageddon Conquest. But I just, even though it's very good, I always thought Shinnok was the strong point of Armageddon Conquest. I love his representation.
It was a highlight.
Shinnok did have a really good moment, but Shinnok has had good moments before. Like, he's really entertaining in mythologies, too. Reiko's scene was so good because it's the only thing we've ever had for Reiko.
That's true.
And it immediately gave him a character in, like, 3 lines of dialogue.
See, I actually really liked Shujinko's little moment there. I have let myself be captured. Oh yes,
that was
this is how clever I am. just
all he's been through, and he's actually more of a cocky shit.
This man's an idiot. Okay, moving on.
I like Shujinko, but we'll go on. Yeah.
Out of the 4 characters, I'd probably take Dagon for reasons Razor's already established. I'm not one of the guys that enjoys Taven. He's just kind of always screamed, "I am a protagonist and little more." But I believe that Shujinko can be salvaged. I don't see why Taven can't either. I take the dipshit over the protagonist. That's all.
I think that's a very common sentiment. I think people who don't like Taven or Daigon can agree that you could easily make these characters cool. I don't think people feel that way about Shujinko. I like Shujinko because I like him as a gameplay function, and I think the idea is interesting. But I don't think you could revamp Shujinko into something the common player's ever going to like, unlike Taven and Daigon. He's not a blank template by any means.
I feel like Shujinko is an idea that has a lot of potential, the same way Bo Raicho is an idea that has a lot of potential. They're both variations on that very old master from like a Shaw Brothers 70s kung fu movie thing. The problem with Shujinko is that we spent an entire story mode watching him be an idiot. and that has colored people's opinions of him. You have to rehabilitate that image before you can use him.
But we have so many lovable idiots on the cast already, though.
Yeah,
Reptile's an idiot.
here's
Johnny
the
Cage
thing.
is an idiot.
The new
Kung Lao in
timeline-
modern times is an idiot.
the new timeline gives you an opportunity to do that, though, because this is a Shujinko who canonically at some point did give up the quest, like, somehow found out Damashi was full of shit, took one Kamidogu, and went off to become a Shaolin monk. At least, if the comic is canon. And
I actually didn't know. Well, I never finished the comic. I heard like a lot of it on the lost episodes, but I was actually not aware of that.
Well, no, yeah, there's actually some of what I just said isn't information present in the comic. It's information I learned by asking Sean Kittleson about the comic.
That counts. I mean, that's valid.
According to Kittleson, the reason Shujinko is a monk in the MKX comic is because at some point during the quest, he found out the truth, and the Kamidogu he's guarding at that temple, it's the only one he had at the time. So he just kept that one, and he's basically hiding it and protecting it, and because he knows Damashi was Onaga, and so he prevented the resurrection.
Then it would be really disappointing if Shujinko doesn't come back. He's one of my top 10 favorite MK characters of all time. I would be really sad if that's... I mean, I have such a distrust of the comics and Kittleson, honestly, but God, I'd be so sad if he didn't show up and Onaga's present. That would really be heartbreaking.
Well, for me, I just want Shujinko because, I mean, partly like you, I like him as a function, and we've talked about this on several episodes before. I like the idea of a guy who can mix and match powers. Because the way he did it in Deception, where he just straight had other people's moves, was not inspired enough. I would love to see a guy who he's learned other people's special moves, but now he can combine them or do them in unique ways. And I just want to see like the Shang Tsung who doesn't morph, basically.
Yeah, just like the chain combos with Ermac and Sub-Zero specials. That sounds tight to me.
I think it would be awesome to have him out there with his fucking sparkly rainbow energy, just throwing out everybody's moves in different ways than they do them.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Actually whipping people with Scorpion's spear and using it as like, no, not a projectile to drag people over to him, forming ice clubs. No. Sliding in different fashions, diagonal down Kano balls, but nothing else. I can see it.
Well, there's potential there, and I also feel sorry for him, and I just want him to be redeemed.
Yeah, I've been feeling that way ever since the game came out.
Well, to me, Deception is a redemption story. Deception's suspending gameplay is my favorite Mortal Kombat of all time. It's a fantastic redemption story. I've always seen it like that. I've never disliked Shujinko, even before I thought of the gameplay stuff. I've always had a fondness for the character and the design, all costume aside. But
I mean, it's sort of, I can see where you're coming from. I don't disagree. I think that the problem is that we see him being dumb and the sad things happening to him in cutscene form, and then the redeeming himself is the arcade mode. And that doesn't convey the emotion.
It doesn't lend
to
itself
people.
well to like him being read as someone sympathetic.
And it's the same logic as where I always say MK9, what it could have and should have been would have been so much more satisfying than what it is, but people still like it for what it is because to them, they never saw MK1, 2, and 3. They didn't have a picture in their minds of cutscenes. So this was them actually getting to see cutscenes of those events. Whereas for me, I always had this picture in my head of the way it went, and MK9 contradicted the picture, so I'm like, it's not working for me.
This wasn't the John Tobias comic.
Exactly.
This wasn't the John Tobias comic at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, for me, I was never bothered by the stupidity of Shujinko because I always saw it as a game design mechanism. if Shujinko figures it out and Onaga's jig is up, the conquest mode ends.
No,
So
I mean,
I
right.
always saw it as a design thing.
The problem isn't like it. There's nothing wrong with having like a mystery story, but the trick is you want the detective to figure it out at the same time or before the audience. If the audience figures it out before the detective, then they're a better detective than the detective is, and the story doesn't work anymore.
It's a lot like Blue's Clues.
Exactly.
It's like the fucking paw prints right there, Steve. Get it together, man.
Yeah, that's why I had to stop watching Blue's Clues.
Come on, you're looking everywhere but the spots. You know it's there.
You're basically not wrong.
So,
the problem
You coy
the
son of a
problem is that they made it too obvious Damashi was some kind of asshole lying to him, and yet he still obeys the guy for 60 years.
they still could have taken that path. They could have gone there, but they could have had Shujinko spend half the story mode being an idiot, wising up halfway, and being bound and determined to, like, you know what? I'm going to beat you. I'm going to take you down with my bare hands. You want to lie to me? Fuck you. I'm going to come to you, and I'm going to wreck your shit. And you would get a story mode ending, which would probably serve the same purpose, have Shujinko being swatted aside like the gnat he is, and then having the same realization, you know? At least you could get behind the guy a little bit for trying to fucking fix shit he started. Sadly, not the case.
I'm just saying that, like, the idea of Deception Conquest wasn't bad. It was the execution. The writing gave it away too much.
True.
And there are a lot of moments where Damashi is an asshole for no reason that you could just straight take out. Like, after he's trained with Nightwolf to be more pure and good, fucking Damashi shows up and he's like, no, you need that evil in your soul so you can go to certain realms. Go to the Nether Realm and get it back. And then...
Asshole.
And then he's like, but I was gonna go to the tournament. I've been waiting my whole life to go to the tournament.
Totally did it on purpose, too.
It couldn't wait 2 weeks. and that if you removed that scene, you would also remove the giant plot hole where he goes to the Netherrealm during MK1, but when he gets there, it's MK4.
Yeah, that's a problem. That is a...
Yeah, just
it
like...
just took him years to get back. Who knows?
And it's just now occurring to me, if he needs the tainted soul to go to the Netherrealm, how is he going to the Netherrealm to get the taint back in his soul? Like,
that's probably why it took
if he's
a
just been
long
purified,
time.
he shouldn't be able to use the portal right then.
Maybe that's why it takes a long time. Maybe he has to, like... Maybe his path back to the portal is fraught with all sorts of shady shit and blackjack and hookers and...
Go to the Netherrealm,
It
but
takes a
before
while.
you get there, I'm gonna need you to, like, do some jobs with Kano. That would have been
So
a
where
lot
was
better,
Shujinko
actually.
during MK1 to 4? Opium dens. Alright. Mystery solved.
That would fill a plot hole.
Sounds like a good time.
Horrible, actually, but...
But yeah, the other thing about, like, I don't want to believe this rumor, or at least I want to be skeptical about this rumor, because when MK9 came to an end, we were all like, oh man, Havoc was in the endings, Fujin was in the endings, we're gonna get those characters in the next game? And then MKX came out.
Oh,
God.
So we're in an exactly identical scenario right now, where Shujinko was in Cassie's ending, Taven and Dagon were in Kenshi and Takeda's endings. I can't set myself up for that disappointment again.
You know, to this day, I don't
Also-
think I've seen Cassie's ending.
Also, fucks up with Jade, folks. Where is she? What's she doing? Need a little help here.
That's gotta be an Onaga tie-in, right? The whole Jade arc of just random green woman. I feel like that's not an...
The woman can't... I've spent a lot of time, like, examining, like, that portrait of her in Jade's ending, trying to find, like, any kind of Easter egg or indication as to who this character might be, if there's someone we've seen before. And the reason I've done that is because so much of the internet swears up and down that it's Delia, even though it doesn't look a goddamn thing like Delia. The woman has blue skin, and the realm she's from is all crystalline. This is a new character. She's not connected to anybody that I can tell.
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
Like, her appearance at the end of MK10 was in Katana's ending, yes? And,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It was being alluded to there that...
Well, she was
it was-
like, she doesn't actually appear, but possessed Jade does.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I remember right, that Cell Sim ending also kind of alluded to the fact that there might have been parallel universes now.
Yeah,
and
the whole
like,
premise
yeah.
of this woman is that she can see the original timeline and thinks Raiden fucked up by changing it.
What is it exactly that brings about Armageddon? The presence of too many strong warriors. What happens if we open a portal between two worlds? The same fucking thing.
I mean, in theory, but the woman's argument seems to be that Armageddon wasn't actually the end of the world.
True.
Because the vision she shows Kitana is that after Armageddon, Shao Kahn still dies.
The conditions for having that pyramid, though, they do seem to be very possible to recreate in this world.
Yeah, no, I think those conditions are going to happen anyway. I think they are inevitable because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And the premise of the prophecy is honestly kind of flimsy.
It is. I'm just saying that, like, if you actually do want to do, like, combat on Infinite Earths, this is, like, the perfect excuse to, if we wanted to, actually rush the timeline along and have it happen not too far after MK4/MK4 Cassie's version. Whatever you want to call MKX.
My concern is that if you're going to do anything with the Armageddon concept in MK11, I feel like you need that gargantuan roster to really make the concept work.
I kind of don't.
You don't think so?
I understand it. I would hope for a larger roster than MKX, but I don't need all those assholes back again. Every time one of those gigantic have every character games comes out, Trilogy and Armageddon, there's always a sense that it's quantity over quality for me. And I love Trilogy, I really do. But it does feel like too much, almost. Like, balance just gets tossed right the fuck out the window, and I don't know.
I'm somewhere in the middle.
Sometimes less is more.
I feel like you can't bring back everyone again. That I absolutely agree with. But you can't do less than 40 characters, in my opinion, especially now that we introduced 8 new ones in the last game. To really have the classic feel of an ultimate event, you need the mainstay characters plus the Deception Deadly Alliance crew. I think you need a big bulk of that to really recapture the essence of Deception Armageddon.
I want to agree with that, but I just think that also working in the industry again, 40 characters is a lot to ask of any development company.
Well, is it 40 starting or 40 after DLC?
Starting. I would say starting.
It's not going to happen. It's not. 35 generously. 30 if we're lucky.
Talking starting roster?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Starting roster of
MK11?
Yeah.
If we were going to do a whole gigantic multiverse crossover thing, I would wager 30 on the outside as a maximum.
Here's the thing about a multiverse.
I say 32 max starting.
Here's the thing about a multiverse.
Just so they can say we're putting out the biggest starting roster yet. They're going to go 1 or 2 more than they've done previously. That's their pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem so. But the thing about a multiverse premise is that you don't necessarily need a large roster, because you can create that scenario with costumes.
And multiple fighting styles to select from.
I think, well, actually, I'm just seeing on our Facebook somebody has posted another supposed leak, so let me read this.
Oh,
Yeah, I read it. It sounds like what you guys have been talking
Yeah,
about, just with a couple more characters thrown
It
in.
lines up with what we've already heard. So let me put this out there. So, according to this, which comes from the Mortal Kombat X Reddit, this person heard it from someone who knows NetherRealm people. You know, it's always like, oh, my uncle works for Nintendo.
Somebody
changes
told
the
me
pop.
that you knew a
changes the
guy
pop
who
machine.
But
worked for the
apparently,
dead staff. Anyway.
apparently, this same person knew the roster for MKX and leaked it accurately. So they, you know, again, they always make up something to make it sound plausible. I'm not saying it is or not. I'm just saying here's.
I think
here's
his
what he
boldest
said.
prediction is that the game will be out by spring 2019. Now that is bold. That is bold, sir.
Nah, it's 2 years after Injustice 2 came out. That seems perfectly
I know,
reasonable.
that's like it's like
That's a very safe figure to throw out there.
It's almost like the exact pattern they've been on for the last 2 games.
Yeah, no, but so the full thing, I'll just read it from the start. Raiden is the main antagonist. Base roster is planned to start around 30 with 10 DLC. The plot borrows elements from Deception and Armageddon. Characters he's seen artwork for include Kano, Li Mei, Noob Saibot, Nitara, Bo Rai Cho, Johnny Cage, Shang Tsung, Jade, Taven and Dagon, Cassie Cage, Jackie, Frost, Kenshi, Kodokan, Jax, and Onaga. Characters that died in MKX are not coming back, so that's pretty much just Quan Chi and Melina?
Oh, no. Baraka got reanimated.
Oh, right,
and
Baraka's
died
dead too.
again.
Baraka's dead too. You're right.
We can bring him back as a revenant.
Story mode will have NPCs again. Story mode will still have chapters, but will be longer than any previous game. I don't know if I believe that. Because they say that every time, and it's never true. It always comes out to 2.5 hours, exactly.
That's still a movie, not gonna complain.
No, that's fine. It's just... It's really
the
how long
Injustice
it
2's
feels, you know?
cutscenes were
Because
really,
MK9
really good.
felt long, but MKX felt short, even though they're the same length. Figure that one out.
If their face tech is as good as Injustice 2's, then we're in good shape.
Alright. Variations and brutalities are both coming back.
Good shit.
That's the
Give
whole
us
thing.
friendships.
I would like friendships back.
Friendships. I mean, I feel like it's too... I feel like that era is never coming back at all, but God, I would love friendships.
Well, here's the thing.
It's never too late.
Nine's babalities were basically friendships with babies.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, yeah, there's not really any bold predictions there, it seems. I mean, it's certainly possible because they included Kano and Jax, and
I feel like
we're almost guaranteed to
Nitara
have
is
them every single time.
I feel like Nitara's a bold prediction.
Yes, that I was going to say.
Yeah.
She's the one that really jumped out at me. I mean, I think Li Mei had a good chance of coming back anyway.
I think Li Mei and Frost both have reason.
Nitara is surprising. Oh, Frost is in. Frost is in. There's no doubt about that.
Couldn't help but notice that lack of Fujin.
Yeah, no.
Well, that's what gives it credibility that he's not there.
Yeah.
Let the record start. We were already bitching about Fujin's exclusion before the game was ever announced. It starts today. It starts here.
If he was on there, I'd start to doubt the list a little bit.
To be
more,
fair,
honestly.
that's only 17 names out of 30, and also Blaze was not on this list.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 18 out of 30, Raiden.
That does make it a little bit more believable that Blaze is not there if he's seeing concept art for fighting characters.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just don't think that... Blaze was more interesting when he was like a half on fire Liu Kang palette swap in the background that we all called Torch. Sticking things in the throat.
So I look at this list, and my first thought, because he's the first name on it, is why are you bringing Kano back? Didn't we say all we need to say about him by now? Sonya's
We're
gotten her
bringing
revenge.
Kano
He should be
back.
in jail.
Yep.
Just leave it.
You guys know how I feel about Kano and Kano's community. I don't want it. Not a little
Upon a
bit.
time,
Now,
I liked
did you
him.
say,
I'm kind of
did you say
over it.
Sonya as well?
No,
Sonya's not on this
Sonya-
list.
Okay, but Kano is.
But again, 18 out of 30 names.
Because even if Sonya's out there, it's not even combat time.
I feel like it's a
Why
pretty
would you
safe
bring
list,
Kano
save
back unless there was
Nitara.
combat time? Yeah, Natara's
ta-
a
I don't
nice
know.
prediction. I want to believe that. I think
Well,
that
I like
Natara's
Natara.
a good-
I
Yeah,
just think she's
I am
unlikely.
really a fan of Natara, and I'm happy Lee May's on there too. Part of it is I'm just happy for Temp, but
Needs more
Yeah,
action.
I'll take Lee May. Well, I think whether this is true or false, it would be very strange if Lee May's not in the next game. I feel like it'd be very. I'm more worried about Serena than I am about Lee May.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
don't expect
Serena-
to see Serena.
see, the fear I live in every day of my life is that one day when Serena does end up in a game, her moves and/or costume will suck. So if she's not in a game, it's almost like take a breath of relief.
I
Because
think
at
you
least
guys
they
have it all
didn't ruin her.
backwards. Lee May, yes, Lee May is the more likely choice, but that makes her unlikely by proxy. So I would say Serena gets it by being more of a dark horse.
Lee May could be a Fujin
It's-
situation for sure.
Think of it like the Fujin / Cyrax factor. Cyrax being the only one that survived, and one of the survivors of MK9 was not returning, but all the other dead ones did return. See, it's wacky, bizarre alien logic. So you got to realize that the more likely the chance of your character, the less likely the chance of your character. So just kind of give that some thought.
But that's why I'm not really anticipating the MK11. I don't know. Like I said, the MKX marketing was just a painful, awful journey. And I really didn't mind the Injustice journey because I really didn't want too much from Injustice. What I did want, I got very early on with Blue
Justice
Beetle.
was full
Yeah,
with
it's
a lot of
easier
nice
not to
surprises.
get mad about a game you don't have a horse in the race.
I have a lot of horses in MK11.
Yeah.
Well, two. I have two horses. I have Lee May and I have a Dash Pressure. But oh god, man, I don't know. I'm trying to not care, but it's just I don't know. MKX wasn't healthy. That was not. a
If
healthy
Lee May
journey.
makes it, we definitely need some sort of gear or alt costume with that T-shirt that says "I fucked a Naga" and all I got was the classic T-shirt. It's still funny to me.
She may get the T-shirt in story mode if they're bringing back Lee May and Onaga. I mean, 2 and 2, guys.
Yep.
I ship it.
I really,
Honestly,
at this
yeah.
point though, I can't get any excitement for it right now. I'm just like I said, I'm just in that zone of not really too enthused about any of this quite yet. I mean, for most games that's the case, but two, I don't know. It's fighting game fatigue. I want to get by the time this is actually announced is when I will be super ready for it to be announced. I need my space, you know. I just
It's
need
still
some
a
space.
long
You're
ways
still
away.
catching your breath from Injustice?
And I loved Injustice 2, and I liked MKX for a lot of stuff as well. So it's not like I didn't like the games. It's like I can't just do fighting game, move on to next fighting game, move on to next. I'm not one of those guys. All right, it's not me, man. That ain't me. I need a little variety. Need some spice in my life, you know. But in terms of characters, I don't really have anybody I'm hanging on to right now. I gotta be honest. I don't have anybody that I'm like, man, this character needs to be in. I don't have a Cyrax this time around. I don't have a. I mean, yeah, I'd like to play as Katana again. Cyrax, like I said, Cyrax is always that weird case where I never really did well with Cyrax. So if he's not in, it's going to be more disappointing from a story perspective than a game not being able to play him perspective. But in terms of all the characters, yeah, I don't really. Right now, I'm not putting my chips on one character. I'm hopefully going to be. I would like another Katana situation, to be honest with you. I liked getting a new favorite character out of a character's playstyle being so much fun. So I welcome another character catching me off guard that maybe this time it'll be Jade or I don't fucking know, probably not, or Frost. Frost is a more likely scenario. Frost or a Natara or Ashra or something would be kind of cool. Something like that to really wow me, I guess.
I would
I'm a
for
selfish-
gameplay. Yeah.
I'm a selfish bastard, so I'm always going to want Smoke back, but gotta admit, he's probably not escaping that Wraith or
No,
Revenant thing.
I think he'd be
anytime
back.
soon.
I'd be very surprised if Smoke wasn't back.
I want it to happen. I'd like to believe. But
We'll see.
they can always cop out and go, we gave him to you at 9. We gave him to you a third of the way and like X, and it's very feasible to me that they could just cop out of the cyber storyline entirely by 11.
Why set up the whole Enenra thing and then do nothing with it? You know,
That's
Why?
It's
You
gonna
know?
It's gonna haunt me. I want to believe that they will, but they didn't exactly do anything for the guy this time around, did they? So I mean, fingers crossed. I'll take Havoc. Havoc's got the most reason to be around out of all the.
Maybe this time we could all play Sub-Zero. I don't know.
Let's do it.
Let's
Down.
all
Just
play.
just to give us variations based on every single appearance so far. Give us the MK3 outfit. Give us the horrible hexagonal ultimate MK3 ninja outfit. Give us everything. Give us the Grandmaster. Like give us Shredder. And yes, let's mix and match our move sets. Someone can play MK2. Someone can play MK3. Someone can play Revision 1.0 MK3 where he did not have a forward freeze. And see that shit go on.
I just want someone new. Like I said, Katana was a breath of fresh air because she's never somebody that I had much interest in before. Poison Ivy was all new for me. Scarecrow was all new for me. Atrocitus was all new for me. So I'm looking for the next, the next up and comer that I haven't quite given a go to. So
It's funny you mentioned Jade, because I would kill for a gameplay viable Jade. Like, Jade's one of my favorite of the female. She probably is my favorite female ninja, and the staff is fucking badass. So I would really, really like to see Jade back. And I think
Frost is that for me. I've always liked Frost in Deadly Alliance, and she's one that I played a lot in Deadly Alliance. So if there's any character that I was like, yeah, I could see myself playing that character, it'd be Frost. I love ice powers. That's why Sub-Zero is my favorite of the male ninjas. But yeah, Frost would be cool.
In terms of Jade, I want to be able to play her and abuse someone the way that the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 AI abused me. That's what I'm saying. They gave her all the tools to be able to do that in MK9, but she can't really because she just sucks at using them. Like, a little moment of projectile invincibility isn't quite enough. You've got to give her that projectile dash through with a hit that starts up the potential for a combo. You can't feel safe throwing projectiles at Jade at any point in time.
I don't know. For me, it's always been that you have a character who uses a quarterstaff who doesn't use it like any quarterstaff person in other games. Like, she doesn't have the spinny shit that Keelake has in Soul Calibur, and when I play a quarterstaff character, that's what I want to do. I want to spin it.
You can do that too.
Yeah. It's funny to bring back Natara, because if you look at all like the female designs in Injustice, they're basically the Natara body type, in my opinion. It's almost like getting reapproaching that Deadly Alliance body type, which looked weird back in the day, but I think they can kind of normalize it now. So it would be interesting to see what she looks like given the new engine. And her gameplay would be out of this world. I'd be really hyped to see what Natara could do.
I mean, they proved with Scarlet that they can finally make somebody throwing a ball of blood not look stupid.
Like, the potential for her to have some serious fucked up vampire shit going on with this modern, ultra-realistic take on fatalities and the way she manipulates blood and the things that she can do with blood, she could really be an unpleasant thing to behold. And
I really want them, according to the comic, the entire plot, all the blood magic shit, was something that characters learned from her. I want to see that as a gameplay function. I want to see blood magic as a fighting style. Because that sounds crazy.
Yes.
Dude, I want to see flight cancels. Oh my god, that'd be so fun. Although to date, we haven't really had a satisfactory flight cancel in a NetherRealm game. Maybe the third time's the charm. We'll see. No, I did the X and Dell. MK9 Sindel flight cancels were the shit. Oh, how did I forget about that? Yeah, Sindel flight cancels are fucking badass. I always regret not learning that shit. But that was tight. Anyway, go on.
That's all I got. Natara hype. It begins today.
I
Fujin
am also,
disappointment. It begins today.
Like, if this leak is somehow real, Jackie and Jax both being on here worries me.
That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm cool with Jackie. I'm tired of Jax.
I'm a fan of Jax and I don't like Jackie, but for a roster after MKX, I would rather have Jackie than Jax, just because it's like, one's the dad and one's the kid. At some point, you gotta fucking retire, man. And I don't feel that way about Johnny and Cassie because they're not that the same, or at least one of them doesn't bore me.
I feel at least Jackie is kind of a blank slate, you know? She didn't get up to very much, but she's someone that has options. I just kind of feel like Jax having Jackie was the most interesting thing to happen to him. And now that story's been told, what do we do with the dude?
It also wasn't that interesting.
Depends. I like the idea of like Farmer Jax the dad, you know.
Yeah, well, I like
reading about him in the MK comics is a lot of fun.
I like Back from the Dead PTSD Jax. You don't need the kid for that.
That's true. But
now, if he would have murdered Jackie because of the PTSD, then we're talking.
Oh, damn. It got dark.
Too dark even for Mortal. That's like...
Dude, I think...
That's like...
That would have been a hell of a story.
That's not
like
a
Mortal
Kombat
you
story.
Have to put him down.
You've seen those videos. I'll try not to damage your face, sweetie. Goes right into the Johnny Cage face smashing fatality on his own daughter.
But no, he goes to put Jax down, and instead of doing it in like a nice, humane, friendly way, he just smashes a trophy right into his forehead, splits his head in half, then just sits there and does kisses towards the audience. And Johnny really milked that kill. You know, Jax is our friend. Was it mercy?
I was like
Shut up, baby. I know it.
They left a great out for Jax in the arcade endings where Aaron Black fucking kills him.
That's true. Jax's head off 3 times.
Like Kodal sends Aaron to assassinate the combat kids, and Jax takes a bullet for him. I would like that story to happen. I mean, it's on one hand, there's a silly element of Jax died 2 games in a row.
If you're gonna tell me that out of all the people who became Revenants in 9, we brought Jax back, out of all of them, to kill him off again right away, and I've still got Smoke in the background going, I am an Enra. Man, fuck that. You're gonna bring Jax back, you will leave him alive.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't need them both. That's all. And I don't know. There's no elegant solution to it. Because as much as Jackie is the one my heart wants to get rid of, my head says that's the one you keep.
Out with the old, in with the new. Just keep Jackie and let's move on.
That's what I'm saying. I don't dislike Jax, but I'm tired of him, and I think that his interesting story was told in 10. I'm cool with this, where he is right now.
C'est la vie, Carl Weathers. C'est la vie.
I'm going to be the dissenting voice here. I pick Jax over Jackie. Because Jax, to me, first of all, I just like his design a lot. I think his MKX design is really good. But more importantly, Jax is not a character. He's a function. He's 4-2-1, and he's down 1-2, and he's pressure and mix-ups with amazing grapples. That's Jax.
Jax is the symbol for the grappler in an MK game. And, like, if I want the guy who does the pile driver and the backbreaker, I have to have Jax in the game. And I do want that guy.
I don't want Jackie's boring-ass zoning. I don't care. NetherRealm, I don't care. Okay? Just, you can put Jackie in anything you want. I'm not going to play her. But...
Make no mistake about it. I don't like Jackie at all and don't want her in the game. I don't know. I'm just trying to go with the more realistic option.
No, yeah, see, that's what I'm saying about my heart wants one thing and my head says the other.
I'm for Jackie and all friends. Sorry, dudes. I say this, I'm tired of Jax, but here I am advocating Kano coming back as many times as we want him back because there's no Kano like a troll Kano. There's no troll like Kano. I just love having him and his shit-eating grin around in every game. I'll never get tired of Kano. I don't know what it is.
I am Sneakers 02.
I'll say this as well. Jax, I was not a Jax fan forever. Like, I was like, I thought he was boring. Like, military peeps in all Mortal Kombats are generally boring to me. But MKX was a game.
Yeah.
Okay, that was fun. That was fun. But
That was
Devil
terrible.
Rises aside,
Oh,
which is why it was fun. But MKX was such a boring ass offensive type game, full of 50-50s. And Jax and Reptile were like the only two characters that actually played like a conventional pressure game. Like, Jax and Reptile saved MKX for me. I don't know what the fuck I would have done without those two characters. So, no, I don't just like them better. I think they're straight up important. They have to be back if we're doing Legacy. If we're doing any Legacy gameplay, I would lose my mind if Jax isn't back, because, oh my god, I can't do any more 50-50s.
Oh, yeah.
See,
Stop
that's
that.
the problem.
Terrible.
The 3D era ruined Jax. 9 and X have done a
Oh.
lot to rehabilitate him, but so much damage was done.
Yeah.
Dude, that vest.
Please no.
What
was
it's
that
not
vest
even the
even,
look
you know?
so much as that they took away all his moves and replaced them with dumb ones.
It was
I saw the new
everything.
vest. Deadly Alliance looked like shit, I thought. There was way too much shit going on.
Yeah.
You didn't like
Absolutely.
blinged out Jax?
Oh no,
I would-
50
I
Cent
can't-
Jax?
Stereotypical Jax.
I can't even call him blinged out Jax. I call it a failed attempt at blinged out Jax. Because he was wearing a giant MK medallion like Flava Flav, but with what the fuck was that vest, okay? What the fuck was that, like, piece of shit neon bumblebee inflatable life jacket he had going on?
You got a problem with Marty McFly, bro?
That's not Marty McFly. Marty McFly would gouge his eyes out after seeing that, then travel back in time to
Marty,
avoid
well, no,
gouging his
what
eyes
you're
out, and then
forgetting-
realize he had to go back in time to prevent that jacket from ever being made.
What you're forgetting is that black guys like to wear yellow.
Marty. A pickle wreck?
Is that canon?
I don't know. I mean, Cyrax, but I don't know where else you're getting this from. What's this based on?
I'm getting it from popular culture.
Well, Luke Cage, of course. Luke Cage wore yellow, right?
There's
Fair.
a lot
I
of
mean-
yellow. There's a lot of yellow. Just
Black Manta don't wear no fucking yellow.
Well, it's not yellow, Manta.
it's not all yellow. It's a lot of yellow.
That would be better than it's not all blacks that like to wear yellow, but okay.
I didn't say all. I just
Technically, you didn't have to say that.
Oh god.
Stereotypes are fun.
we brought this up before. It's not new.
Is there
That's
a
the first
recurring
I'm
theme of
hearing
us
it.
trying to
It's not
avoid
even a bad thing. Yellow's a good color.
I'm just saying. There's a trend that I have noticed.
Tanya. At least in MK, you're right. Tanya, Cyrax, Jax.
That's a symptom, not the disease.
And now it's a disease.
It's a metaphor. Shut the fuck up.
Darius wore yellow too, didn't he?
I'm orange.
Yeah, that's close enough. It's Yellow's neighbor. I mean,
Yellow's neighbor.
on the color wheel, they are holding hands.
Any thoughts on MVCI before it comes out? Am I the only one buying this game, or are you?
Dude, I was gonna get it, but
I will pick it up because of Jeddah. I will pick it up to support Darkstalkers. Because it's all I have left.
yeah, it's not a game that I feel like I would even try to get good at. It's just a game I would just sit there and dick around with. That's the problem.
I hope you guys at least YouTube the story mode just to see if we can talk about that. That could be fun.
Yeah, that's a thing.
No can do, Party Mackenzie. No can do.
Top of the list.
I'm not invested in the story either, but
I miss Whitzel.
I might buy it. I mean, I'm not putting it off the table or anything. I might peer pressure into buying it, and then at least so we can play. It's just when do we play?
I'll certainly let you know how it goes, but it I don't know. We'll see.
I hear John Talbane rumors, and I'm like, show me this in DLC form, and I'll give you money.
Venom is almost like 98% confirmed for DLC, so that has me extreme. I love Eddie Brock so much. Like, you guys don't even know.
Yes.
So I'm excited, man.
I would suck on his Eddie and gobble the Brock, is what you're saying.
Oh yes, no man.
I would take that Brock all the way up my symbiote.
Venom Bite all day.
You are a monster.
I would show you my Venom web. No,
Okay,
I'm not kidding.
That was a little on the head.
It got weird.
Right on the nose.
I have 2 issues of the one where he came.
That was a little on the face for me.
This past summer. I bought that issue twice because it's been fucking 13 years. 14, actually, I think, at this point. No better time to have Eddie Brock back in a game. No better time.
It's something.
Boy,
speaking
of Skywalker the Dinosaur Man in the comics, man.
Speaking of watching fighting game stories on YouTube, have you guys seen that SNK is doing a CGI King of Fighters series?
I haven't.
Yes. This is not new news, but are they far along with it now?
They're on episode 7, I think.
So
I mean,
it's
these
actually
episodes
out
are like
now.
10 minutes long, I think. They're I think it might be a movie they chopped up. I can't really call it a series.
Huh. I knew it was coming out, but I didn't know it was this far along. I didn't know it was released.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check this. I'm gonna have to check this now.
I mean, as the animation critic in me wants to say that the CGI is not very good, but I don't really care. It's about the storytelling, and it's okay in that regard.
I haven't heard of this. Where can I watch this? Is it just YouTube?
YouTube SNK's channel.
Gotcha. I will check that out because I actually do want to see that. That sounds interesting.
Who's a following? I'm guessing Kyo, Benimaru, Yori.
Yeah, it's ensemble, switches focus. Sometimes it's Kyo, and sometimes it's Terry and Andy. And then there was one episode so far that followed the Queen's team.
Nice. I can only hope for.
And there was an episode or two that was just Geese. Yeah. Like his backstory.
Excellent.
Waluigi on a squeegee. I dig it.
Is it predictable?
I mean, if you already know the story, it is very predictable.
Excellent. All things are predictable, and this shall be no different.
Nothing's more overpowered, OP needs nerfs, than Bo Jackson in Tecmo Super Bowl.
I might not know what that is.
It's just the thought of the day,
So he's predictable too.
He's predictable, exactly.
I see what you did there.
Yep.
Well, I want to add a little side note on Jeddah. I'm excited for Jeddah 2. I don't really care for the way they, his texture. It looks like he's made out of metal. It's really strange how he looks in the game, but God, I'm excited for Jeddah. And Mega Man X, and Zero, and Sigma. Oh my God, I love Mega Man X so much, but I'll stop there. I'm looking forward to it. From what I've seen in the live streams with Justin Wong and Maximilian, it looks like the gameplay philosophy is very solid. I really, really like what they've done. So I'll let you guys know how it goes in 2 weeks.
I will probably be picking it up. Actually, this will probably be the biggest game purchasing month for me so far this year. I've got this and Metroid. That's tomorrow, motherfuckers.
Sure, I'll give it a go at some point.
I
might get it release day. It's just the issue is finding time where we can play together.
That's true.
I can't wait till 5 a.m. for you, sir. Thursdays and Fridays, you need to get it together sooner.
Yeah, I think if I get Marvel vs. Capcom, I'm just gonna wait a year or two and get it for cheap.
You may not have to wait that long based on Capcom's reputation, but we'll see.
That shit'll be on like $30 within a few months.
Yeah, Street Fighter 5 was $19.99 in like 4 months.
I want to wait until the DLC cycle is over so that I can know what I'm disappointed by. Before I get disappointed.
All right. Any further thoughts?
Nah.
We're good?
Nah, I'm good.
I think that about covers it.
All right, folks. I thank you for checking into our Superfly show. And stay tuned while we continue to really hope, scrape, and pray and gradually increase our focus to Mortal Kombat because it's what we really plainly all want to talk about over the next coming months.
Oh,
God,
yeah.
Next 11.
We're looking forward to all of that disappointment, too.
You know what? No. We got some good times on the horizon. The lead up and the build up and the guessing and the hype work towards MK is always one of the best parts of any.
Maybe
Oh
they
yeah,
learned.
that's gonna be fun.
I mean, they did really well with Injustice 2. I think we got to give them credit here. So they brought it back around. So maybe they'll keep that momentum with MK. There's no. I mean, it's the same studio. Let's just hope it was a learning experience rather than they treat Injustice differently than they treat Mortal Kombat.
Which is very plausible. But,
I mean, they
still
do treat Injustice better than, or not better, but different. In some ways, they treat it a lot worse. Like, obviously, Mortal Kombat has the much better costume designers.
Indeed.
Until Injustice comes around, then they give the costumes to Jim Lee.
Oh, Jet Li.
The costumes of Jet Li.
That'd be awesome, dude. They'd all be wearing.
I would take all of the characters wearing like little leather hats and leather trench coats. and
leather hats.
Little leather hats.
Say that 10 times fast.
Little leather hats, 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 little leather hats.
That sounds like your mouth is like drying out after each one.
It just became one word eventually.
Little leather hats, little leather hats. That's a
Let's.
All right, biatches. Peace out, y'all.
This has been Dingo and Baby in the Morning.
Cheers.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Bunch of poozers.